Good morning, Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan. Today is October 12th, 2021, and welcome to our weekly sales meeting. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. We're going to throw up our belief system as a company. Every week, we like to touch on our mission, our vision, our values, our belief system, and pull something out that's particularly relevant to the subject matter of the day or something that happened recently. And there's so much that I would love to talk about. I could probably talk about every single one of these for what we're going to talk about today, but I'm going to pick two. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about teamwork, where together everyone achieves more, and then also about customers. So we're going to do our market update today, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened in the third quarter, what's happened year to date, and what do we think is going to happen in the next 15 months? And with that, that's all to the end of, hey, our customers always come first. And the more we know about what's happened in the market, what's happening in the market, what could take place in the market and impact our customers, the more we are going to position ourselves to be that resource, that trusted fiduciary, the local economist of choice. So, we're here today to learn as much as we can, pull down some data points, pull down some talking points, and then take those to our customers. From a teamwork standpoint, you're going to see some pretty impressive stats for what this company is doing collectively or has done collectively in the last 30 days, the last 9 months. And so it's really impressive and is only possible because of what everybody in this company does to support one another and to support their clients. So let's start with this. We're going to paint the town red. You're going to hear me talk about listings a lot today. If they were important in the last 9 months, they are going to be critical in the next 9 months. In the month of September, you all collectively took over 200 listings at 220 and sold off 187 of those, outpacing the market at large in both categories. And so very excited about that. But pop in the chat box right now. Let us know what listings you have coming. Let us know what listings you just took a price reduction on. Make sure that we know what you've got out there on the market. All right, speaking of success, we had some agents have some big months from a listing standpoint. These are our top individual listers for the month of September. Want to shout out Big John Murchison with 7 listings in the month of September. I mean, 7 listings in May is big, but to do it in the back half of what we would call busy season is really impressive. So congratulations to you, John, and of course, all of our other top listers. Our top listing teams, I think for the 57th consecutive month, Ina Marabin and the Distinct Home Group showing up there. And also want to shout out Nettis and Vilia Clemis with the Cleveland Real Estate Group. And 2 of our newest teams, the Jones Real Estate Group, led by Rudy Jones, and Sharp Homes, led by Portia Sharp, also making our top listers for the month of September. And also the North Star team, a regular on this list, Lisa and Doxy, continuing to have a fantastic year. And then so many of our top groups having such a strong September from the listing category. That's how we outpace the market. So congratulations to all of these teams for their very impressive performance. For closings, because we list them to sell them, right? The closed units, a lot of folks tying out at 4 and 5 units, and want to shout out Mike McCandless, who is just a little bit over a year back in the family here with Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, with 6 closed units for the month of September. So Mike's business as big as it's ever been this year, and we are thrilled for him. Top teams, again, a lot of regular faces, some new faces there with the whole experience led by Danny Hull. And of course, some, as I said, familiar faces in the mix there. And then, of course, usual suspects for top closed units. The young team, the Chase Group, the List Sell Buy team is on fire. So congratulations to all of you bringing in a very, very big September. So September was great, and we want to make sure that October and November and December continue in the same trend. So tireless efforts put together by our agent leaders and none other than Danielle Sullivan to assemble a amazing calendar for the month of October. And guys, we are hitting the thick of it. If you look at the next few weeks, if you feel like your business is slowing down and you have time opening up on your calendar, get yourself into the office, get yourself into the Zoom room, and get to these trainings. I want to talk first and foremost about what is an annual favorite and probably one of the most impactful in your short-term business. Our winter is coming. Get one more deal session with productivity coach Eric Akbar will be this Wednesday at 11 a.m. This session is going to be focused on generating business, identifying clients that can perform and close inside of 2021. We know our business is at best 30, most likely 60, and in a lot of cases, 90 days away. And we are inside of 90 days until the end of 2021. And so this is going to be driving your business forward right now. And then our monthly Money Matters Mastermind, a favorite for those who like alliteration, will be this Friday at 11 a.m. via Zoom. A reminder that this is your opportunity to be a part of the financial review for the company. So we are an open book company. And so anybody and everybody who wants to understand what's happening economically with Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, and how are we spending our capital to grow your business, we review that at the start, and then we have a subject matter expert in the mix. And so this week we'll be hearing from one of our business resource partners, Lisa Ina. She'll be talking about annuities and life insurance as a part of your wealth building strategy. Is it right for you? How to invest in it, and when's the right time for what particular financial vehicle? As I've said before, I have no idea how this stuff works, so I am particularly and selfishly excited for this one. So that's 11 a.m. on Friday. And then next week, we have our real estate career night. So anybody that if they are interested in real estate, if they're currently in real estate classes, or if they're currently a licensed realtor that you think should know more about what we do here at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, and how we're focused on helping other people build big businesses, then please send them along. We would love to have them in the room or in the Zoom. And then next Wednesday, October 20th, we have if you could sell out Zoom, I feel like Alex Brondu would be able to do it. We have a ton of people signed up for a fantastic class called The Path to Luxury. And so this is led by a gentleman out of Middle Tennessee who about 5 years ago hadn't sold a luxury home, and now it's his entire business. And he is going to talk about, he's going to demystify and demyth the luxury market and talk about some very straightforward, doable things for you anywhere in your business that you can start to crack into that luxury market. If you missed his promo video, go back to Julia's weekend update email. It's a fun one. He's a fun one. Cannot wait to host the Bowtie Bandit next week. And then next Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m., a little Profit Share Noir, Profit Share After Dark or Close to Dark. We're going to be masterminding in the third floor training room from the Pepper Pike office. And this Profit Share Mastermind we do on the 21st of the first month of each quarter. and that's when profit share comes out monthly. And typically we've been masterminding with some of our top profit share earners to find ways to maximize the growth for all of our agents. We're opening this one up to all agents and anybody interested in the conversation around profit share. And we're going to be, during this mastermind, getting into action. So in November, we have one of our largest training events of the year and one of the most impactful to any real estate agent in any company, and that's our business planning clinic. And so when we talk about profit share, there are few things that could have a larger impact on your financial position, the financial position and success of the people in your downline, or the financial success of the people that you want to be in business with. And so we're going to be getting together, talking about the high points of profit share, reviewing where we're at as a company, and then getting right into getting ourselves and our friends and our colleagues to the business planning clinic. And then after all of that, we will be getting together on Saturday, October 23rd, 1 to 3 p.m., trunk or treat and chili cook-off. So if you joined us for the trunk or treat last year, it was a lot of fun, and the event will only be bigger and more fun. And, you know, if you're not into sweets, it could be tastier year over year, because we will be having, I believe, 10 different chilies available for your sampling and for your vote. So this is a highly contested title here at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. The chili champion, as well as the trunk or treat champion. So the Lisa Cisco team will be defending their title. Can't wait to see what they bring out from a trunk standpoint. But please don't hesitate. Bring your kids. Make it a client event. Make it an event for anybody in your community that you want to get into a deeper relationship with. And let's have a lot of fun there on the 23rd. And then finally, you received an email over the weekend from Danielle Sullivan about the messy details of a real estate transaction. Good for 3 hours of CE. That will be held at 9 a.m. on October 28th in our Rocky River office on the 3rd floor. And then also in the last 10 days, we have gone live with tickets for our certification session on property staging. And so this is going to be on December 2nd. It's going to be an all-day deal, and you are going to leave with an official certificate, certified property staging specialist, which we have several of inside of our company. And if any of them are on this call, please drop something in the chat and let us know how valuable that has been to your business. And then how it has helped you advise your clients and help them sell their homes for more. Then bringing it home from a training calendar standpoint, one more reminder: business planning clinic, November 8th, 9 to 4, lunch included, 6 hours of CE, and everything you need to set the stage for your best year yet in 2022. You will leave with a detailed business plan built on the models and systems of Keller Williams that will drive you towards meeting your goals in 2021. Do not miss it, guys. This event will sell out. If you haven't bought a ticket, buy one now. Again, lunch is included. All your materials are included. 6 hours of CE is included. And it is going to be a tremendous event. Quickly, we want to make sure that everybody's aware. This went out in an email, in Julia's weekend email. Every other year, there is a cycle for everyone who is a member of the National Association of Realtors to have a 2.5-hour Code of Ethics course. That is due by the end of 2021. You can check whether or not you have completed this, or based on when you came into the industry, if it is required, with your local board. And I believe Julia has already done some follow-up with those of you who have that opportunity to complete. Complete it now. On January 1st, you will be delinquent with NAR. You will put at risk your ability to be a member of a local board, which will then put at risk your ability to have access to the MLS and pull and to be able to get information to your clients. So very easy, 2.5 hours. There's tons of courses available over the next 75 days. Get it done. Don't be scrambling on January 31st trying to find the course, or December 31st to try and find the course, and get it done. All right, guys, from a partner update standpoint, I believe the team at Cross Country Mortgage is Sean, Don, and Chris are all out in Berea trying out for the defense for the Cleveland Browns. And so they, I don't believe, are with us this morning. But gentlemen, if you are, could you go ahead and unmute yourself? And if you're not, we're just going to move this thing right along to Tiffany Haddendorf-Smith with GM Title.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, sorry.
No, take it away.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. Just wanted to thank everybody. We got our numbers in for third quarter and it was our best quarter yet. We really appreciate everybody's support. We really enjoy being partners with such a wonderful group of people. So thank you again. We couldn't do it without all of you, of course. One thing I wanted to bring up today is we've really enjoyed being a part of the My First Deal series. And we feel like it's really been helpful, especially for brand new agents who are newly licensed, who may not be familiar with the title and escrow process. I tell people all the time, we're kind of like the nucleus of the transaction, and everyone kind of runs around in circles around us, and we have to kind of bring it all together and get it to closing. So I just wanted to kind of put a call to action out there for any agents who might be newly licensed outside of the My First Deal series. Either Jade, our relationship manager, or myself are happy to meet with you and just kind of give you an overview of what we do and why. You're also welcome to come into the office and meet the team that you're working with all the time and kind of get a background on them as well. We think it's really important. We want to be a valuable part of your business and help you grow your business. And in that way, just try to be in the background doing the best we can for you and your clients. So if you're a newly licensed agent, reach out to either Jade or myself. We'll set a meeting and go over any questions you might have and helpful things to help you on any future deals you might have coming up.
Terrific. Thank you so much for that and for your continued support of our company, GM Title, a consistent sponsor of all of our great events that we bring to agents. They help keep costs down for you. So returning the favor by using them on your next deal is huge. All right. And we have regrets only from our friends at APHW and Greater Metropolitan Management, but they will be back in the mix next week. So we are going to go ahead and dive right in to the meat of today's conversation, which is our market update. So throughout 2021, we have been at the start of each quarter as we sit here just a dozen days into Q4. We want to look back and see what can we take from what happened in the last 3 months, and then how is that really shaping out in the next few months, and what will it mean to your business and to your clients. We also like to kick some great slides to you guys so that you can brag a little bit and post in social media and also as a part of your listing presentation. So here is, I'm not one to bury the lead. So if you just came for this, here it is. Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan is still the #1 office in the entire MLS for units sold and sales volume. And those are some truly impressive numbers in the upper right-hand corner. The year-to-date total is actually 3,290. And we are over $750 million in sales volume, $750 million for the agents in this company. So this slide will be sent out to all of you as follow-up. Put it in your listing presentation, put it in your Facebook profile, put it on your business page. let people know that when they work with you, they work with our entire office, which is number one. So here's the market. Wow, fancy graph, right? This is actually the graph that we would have looked at in July, right? And so you can see that in July, when we were looking back at the last 15 months, listings were climbing and climbing and climbing, which was good, right? The market was opening up. We had a lot of turnover. And if you got a listing, if you remember having a listing in May or June, it was on the market for about as long as I've been talking this morning before somebody wrote a cash offer without having to see it. As we look at where we are at now, we have crested in our new listings. And if you look at where things went through August and September, we're seeing the number of homes pended start to match the number of homes listed, right? Which is what we saw in December, January, and February. Make no mistake, listings are still incredibly valuable. Listings will always be incredibly valuable. The opportunity that's coming up here is that the market is balancing a little bit. And if you remember in May how hard it was to get a buyer through, to get a buyer even into a house before it sold, because of the low levels of inventory, understand that there is 50% more inventory on the market now than there was 5 months ago. With inventory as low as it was, right, with less than 4,000 homes for sale in March, right, things moved fast. Now, things are still moving fast. We know that. There are still multiple offer scenarios. But as you've heard me say before, if you were working with a buyer in the spring, in Q2, or even early Q3, and they could not win, they could not financially perform, they couldn't do what they had to do to win in the multiple offers. That's reality for a lot of people. But as we look at some of the economic and external factors that are going to impact people's spending power and the affordability index, know that you have, where you only had 2 options in May, you've got 3 options now. And that is after 5 consecutive months of inventory building. Now, when we look forward, you're going to see that that may not be the case. So we are in the last 30 days, in the next 30 days, in a really good spot where there's inventory, there's still affordability, there are less people on the market because seasonality has impacted them already. And so the opportunity for your buyers or any buyer is high, which means your opportunities for your sellers are still high, right? We are not, we have not busted out in terms of the goodness of this market. It is simply taking the path of seasonality and where we stand in October, where we stand today, and in the context of what Eric's going to talk to everybody about tomorrow, getting one more deal. The opportunity has maybe never been greater, right? Competition is backsliding. Interest rates are holding up a little, but holding at historical lows for now. And there's 50% more inventory on the market. So there should be a lot of transaction opportunity in the next 30 days. So some more stats about Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, just so you guys know them and you understand the framework of how we're looking at things as a total company. We're looking at 2021 to 2020 and 2021 to 2019. If you are somebody who analyzes your business or looks at the market, that 2019 comparison is going to be particularly impactful as we move into the fourth quarter. And I'm going to show you some slides on that. And the reason for you to understand this is when real estate is in the news, our clients are being educated by somebody other than us. And that's not always to our benefit. Now, real estate in the news is good because when people talk about real estate, Ideally, they're thinking about us and they're talking to us. But when you start to see when the National Association of Realtors is releasing their monthly and quarterly statistics, and on December 15th, when Larry Yoon gives his annualized recap, we're going to be talking about numbers compared to one of the most topsy-turvy years in the history of real estate, which is 2020. So if you are looking at these numbers, or you're talking to your clients about, oh, I heard that, sales were down 7%, right? That's 7%, for the fourth quarter or the third quarter, maybe, against a third quarter that was unseasonably big. And again, more charts coming on that. But the most important things that we're going to eyeball here, guys, is how many units are we closing? How many listings are we taking? How many listings are we selling? How many contracts are we writing? And then, of course, the most hypercritical stat here is how much money are our agents making? Last month, the market was down in the mid-single digits on closed units, and our company closed one fewer unit than they did last year. So some really, really strong performance. As I already told you, we outpaced the market in listings taken and listings sold. And so we've got a lot of great things to be excited about. And then, of course, if we look at where our company was just 24 months ago, we are growing by leaps and bounds, well ahead of the market. So congratulations to all of you on all of that. Last time we were together, we talked about the boom and bust cycle. When I say boom and bust, think seasonality. Think that, more people buy homes in July than buy them in December. And so everything that we're going to be talking about is how to navigate return to seasonality and some external factors that could push us towards peaks or troughs, right? All right. So here are the things that we need to keep our eyes peeled for throughout the fourth quarter and into the spring. Number one is economic performance and interest rates. These things are going to have a tremendous impact on our business. Now, economic performance can generate sales, just as interest rates can generate sales. So don't think that economy's good, my sales will go up, economy's bad, my sales will go down. These spell different types of opportunity, right? Number two is workplace and school COVID protocols. We're still having this conversation, and I want to give you some insights on how to leverage what feels like an old and tired conversation to maybe open up some new listing inventory. And then, of course, you've heard me say it a few times already, a return to seasonality in the marketplace. So what are the factors that we want to pay attention to around economic performance and interest rates? Well, the first thing is the overall economy, overall jobs, and then bills in Washington, and not guys named Bills, but bills that are going through the houses of Congress, right? So those things are, they are not going to have an immediate impact, but it is important for us to understand that that is what our client and the consumer is basing their confidence on. And so whenever we are in a position to understand those things and be in conversation with our clients around those, that's fantastic. So we're going to keep our eyes on job reports specific to sectors, right? And get as local as you can with this information. But if there are layoffs or there are things that are impacting specific sectors of the market, then we want to make sure that we're in communication with our clientele that are in those sectors. The stock market at large, as that, look, when people get greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy, right? And so what do we mean by that is that somebody may, as the market starts to level off, or, our intra-year dips are 5 to 10% versus the highs on the year, people may be looking to reallocate their assets, right? So if high net worth individuals, they may be looking to get into investment properties. That's a conversation that you can have around how are they insulating themselves around the volatility of the stock market. Second thing, interest rates and Fed meetings. Going to talk about, I got a couple slides on interest rates for you here in a second, but those Fed meetings that Sean talks about are going to be huge forecasting events going forward as There's going to be turnover on the Federal Reserve, and their approach to things like purchasing bonds are going to impact interest rates, which is going to impact affordability. And then that nasty word that no one really understands, but the manifestation of inflation. There's a lot of concerns. And look, again, these are not none of these things are negative. Inflation goes up. You know, some economists will tell you that housing prices goes up, and we know that our income is based off what homes sell for. So, you know, inflation might give us more money. Now we lose it at the cash register ourselves, but you know, there's always a positive opportunity and angle in all these. What we have to do is be engaged enough with it, to engage enough with our clients to help them see the opportunity. So from an interest rate standpoint, anybody you have that's considering buying or thinking about maybe buying in the spring, right? Interest rates, the 30-year national average just popped up over 3% for the first time since the spring. And, you know, is that a harbinger of doom? No, it's not. Right? But there are a few other external factors around interest rates that if you have somebody who's intending to buy in the spring, right? There are a lot of unknown unknowns or known unknowns related to that idea based around inventory, based around affordability, right? So the last time in 2013, highlighted there in yellow, that the Federal Reserve backed off on bond purchases. They reduced the number of bond purchases they were making. It put upward pressure on interest rates that compounded over a period of about 6 months for almost 1.5% hike, right? So is that going to happen now? No, I don't know. Nobody knows, right? This is just observation of historical fact that you can offer to a client that says, hey, the last time that the Federal Reserve behaved in such a way, we saw this. And so the opportunity for them inside of the next 60 days is to protect themselves and lock in at what are historic lows. Not sure that this is going to happen. There's a lot of ways that we can be managed through it, but the reality is that this is something that has happened historically. All right. Now, when we think about workplace and school COVID protocol, we're going to pay attention to COVID and vaccination rates, and then work from home and school from home, right? So again, we're hitting a period, conversations starting at the collegiate level and also at the, for those of you with parents, I'm sure, is, hey, what do we do from this period from November into December through the end of the year? Kids, you know, going home, traveling for Thanksgiving, coming back into school for 2 weeks only to go back and, do it all again for the winter holidays. A lot of folks, the conversations happening at a high level, I guess we can say, around, the idea that, hey, it's homeschooled or school from home from Thanksgiving to Christmas, or Thanksgiving to New Year, rather. And so those things are going to be impactful in terms of, where people are going to want to spend that time period. If you know people with school age kids or whatever, there's a conversation and an inroad to a conversation about real estate there. I'll also tell you that, anecdotally, with some data to back it up from the news media, there's still a lot of unknowns for a lot of employees out in the ecosystem, out in the economy, that don't know whether or not they're always going to work from home, right? And you might say, how is that still a relevant conversation when we're almost at 60% vaccinated, and there's all these things that are moving in the right direction for us as a world. And the bottom line is that the companies still don't know. The Delta variant has thrown everything back into a turmoil there. And so while we feel like, oh my gosh, so many homes have sold, so many people have moved, anybody and everybody who wanted to have a conversation around maybe not living where they live because they no longer have to work where they work, they can work where they live. Keep in mind that if you take the 5-county area, Lake, Geauga, Cuyahoga, Lorain, and Summit counties, you have over 1.1 million homes. And so less than 10% of those homes sold in the last 24 months, right? We sold, or it's around 10% of those homes we sold somewhere around between 115 and 120,000 in the last 24 months. So there's a lot of folks who may be in a conversation about, hey, I'm not a first mover in this conversation of, if I never have to drive downtown and go to Key Tower to go to work, I'll just live in Medina instead, or I'll live in Lakewood now, or I'll live in Avon, or I'll live in Novelty with Eric Akbar. Those conversations are happening with your clients. And so, simply using the Ford script again around family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, when you ask them about their occupation, ask about work from home, ask about the longevity there, ask about what they're doing or how they're reconsidering where they want to be as it relates to their requirements for work. That's still an ongoing conversation, and the agents who have it are going to find a listing and a buyer. All right, now the last thing that we will talk about is this seasonality in the marketplace. I know there's a nice Technicolor graph there. I'm going to zoom in on it for you real quick. And this is the percentage of homes sold by quarter. What's really important to understand here, and this is for you to navigate the conversation around real estate and whether or not it's down, right, with your clients. Now, on an average year, you see about 48% of homes sold in the first half of the year, and then 52% sold in the back half of the year, right? It's fairly balanced, but it favors the back half of the year ever so slightly. So last year we saw 42% sold in the first half of the year and 57% sold, with only a mid-single digit uptick in the total number of homes sold. So what we did was we shifted out when homes were being sold last year, right? And so if you look at an average year against 2020, you see that what was happening in the fourth quarter last year was an anomaly versus a historical average. And these averages are taken over the last 15 years. The data that we put together is back to 2006, right? And then we were able to take that and project out. Now the blue lines here are 2020, and we're looking at what is our assumption on the marketplace for the entirety of the year and how much of that's coming through the fourth quarter. As you can see, the distribution of homes sold in the fourth quarter will return to normal levels, which will feel down. So when you're having this conversation with your clients about the real estate market, because it will be in the news, right? Housing sales down 12% in October. Well, October was one of the biggest years last year, and it's going to be a normal year this year, right? And so that will then create a dialogue and a narrative that you need to intercept with facts, right? Because while there is truth that the number of homes sold will be down in a single month, what is happening with the overall real estate market is that it is very strong and it is very healthy, and we are continuing to grow, and opportunities exist in bigger and better ways for buyers and sellers right now than they even did 5 months ago. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we take this conversation with our clients? Well, the first thing I would do is follow up with your database, right? Make sure that they know what you know. Make sure that they know what's happening with average home prices. Make sure that they know what's happening on their block. But also make sure they know what's happening with interest rates and the market overall, because there are still, I was with family at a cookout over the weekend, and I was talking to my cousin, and just now getting around to thinking about refinancing, right? And so we start the refinancing conversation, have a conversation about who he needs to be in touch with and what he needs to do. And then the natural question is, well, what do you even think the home's worth, right? Well, of course, he lives, in the west side of Columbus, and I don't know what it's worth, but guess who's getting a referral? Keller Williams agent in Columbus, because you would be amazed the number of folks who have, yes, we've seen interest rates at 2%, and there are still people just getting around to the idea of refinancing. A conversation around refinancing starts a conversation around value. And the value, when somebody knows the value and hears it from the bank, it feels different than the person that they're hiring to sell their house telling them. And then you have a potential for a come list me. So get into conversation with your database, get into conversation with them about whether or not they've refinanced, get into conversation with them about what that means for the value of their home. And also ask for the referral. Ask if they know anyone else that might be, considering this, maybe feel like the ship has sailed on a refinance. Guys, you buy your home, 5 or 7 years ago and you haven't refinanced yet, there's still, getting down to a 3% is huge. And then again, make sure they know what's going on in the market. This is an easy touch. It's a really happy touch, especially if you can save somebody some money in the process. Go back to the buyers that you missed. Talk about the affordability, how it is still at an all-time low. An all-time high for affordability, your dollar per house, especially as we will see home prices normalize. We will see home prices start, they've gone up and up and up. It was 9% average home price sale, September over September. We do not expect that to continue. So you have your interest rate conversation with them, the affordability, the fact that there's 50% more inventory on the market than there was 5 months ago. And guys, this is anybody that you showed a house, anybody that was a buyer lead, anybody that just couldn't get it done. It's a great conversation. Then also let them know that, maybe this is for your empty nesters or your newlyweds, folks without, if they're not tethered to a school district or a specific market, and they have a little bit more range, or they have a little bit more flexibility on when they move because they're not the ones hosting Thanksgiving. Find those folks, because those opportunities will be bigger, because there are also fewer buyers in the market because of seasonality. Fewer people are buying homes after Labor Day than before Labor Day. That's just the fact, and we are back to it. We will not see a repeat of 2020. And then finally, look for pockets of opportunity. I just mentioned one, newlyweds and empty nesters. Those folks that don't have the burden of moving the entire family, taking the kids out of school, trying to do it over winter break, right? Those are people that will have a higher favorability to the concept of buying or selling, for that matter. Also, your investors, right? We talked about the impact of stock market on the way that people are going to distribute their assets across their portfolio. And so as the stock market does funny things, people might want to take their money out and then put it in a place where, having an investment property is going to be a much better financial play. And then finally, look for anyone and ask, when you ask for the referral, ask for people that must buy. We have to be out of this house before Thanksgiving, or we have to be out of this house before the winter holidays, or we have to be in another state by the first of the year. We are now in the period, and I know Eric's going to talk about this and a myriad of other things tomorrow, and hopefully these sessions build on each other. But those that must will be clients for life. If you can help those that have to buy, or those that have to sell, you will find yourself with the greatest referral partners and a source of next year's business, right? Keep in mind that 80% of the people who sold a home in the third quarter will sell one in the fourth quarter. And only 70% of the people that sell them in the third quarter will even sell them in the first quarter. So when we talk about seasonality, real estate agents behave seasonally too. And the biggest ask that I have for you here is to not fall into the seasonality of there are less homes being sold, and there's less opportunities for me. Because the fact of the matter is that 1 out of every 5 realtors is going to not try to and fail, but choose not to do business throughout the fourth quarter, and even fewer in the first quarter because they may be in Florida for 6 months. They may be, have the financial means to not have to do it. But what we know is that there are still thousands of homes that will be sold. There are at least 10,000 more homes to be sold in Northeast Ohio this year. So the question is, who among us is going to sell them? And so when the rest of the real estate are individuals, 20 to 30% of the real estate industry decides that, market's slowing down, I'm going to do the same. If we hit the gas, if you hit the gas for your clients, if you lead generate and start conversations around real estate at a higher rate than you have before, your opportunity to slingshot yourself into your biggest year in real estate is all but guaranteed. So take advantage of the opportunity that 1 out of every 5 people is not even going to attempt it in the next 3 months. And there are literally thousands of people who need their help, and you are about to be their new realtor. All right, guys, that is all she wrote for today. If you did not do the survey last week, please pull out your phone or screenshot this, look at it through your camera. It's a QR code. It's super fancy. It's going to take you directly to a survey that we put together because we want to know what we can do to better serve you. We are planning our 2022 training calendar. We are planning our 2022 fun events. And we want to know, what are the things that you want help with? What are the things that you need help with? And what can we do to ensure that we're living up to the vision of this company, which is to be the real estate company of choice and the #1 place for you to grow your business. So if Danielle is still on the 1s and 2s, she will play us out, snap a photo of it, fill this out. And we greatly, greatly appreciate you joining us today and giving us that feedback.